guys, I'm Roxy.
I'm Annalisa.
And we're
the Nerd Girls. So for this video, we decided to do our top 5. It's a very short list of our favorite horror movies. Our favorite horror comics that we're reading. She, as we have said before, she's the horror junkie. So expect to hear about horror stuff throughout the year because that's what she loves. So we'll be talking about it for sure. But for this one, we just decided, we know October's over. She loves it year round. It's not just in October. And so we're just going to list them off real quick for you guys, the ones that we've read and are interesting.
But I'm actually letting her take the reins in this one because in the other videos, I talk way too much. And I don't want you guys to think that it's just one nerd girl. So yeah. I'm like...
She's the one that keeps it going, though. I freeze up and...
But she has so much to say, and she just gets, like, really nervous, so that she's just, like, frozen in the camera, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let you take this one.
You always tell me, talk.
And because I feel like... I don't know what to say. Cute, like, fast discussion, like, I feel like I cut her off a lot, too, and I'm just like... Don't ever think that you can't talk. And then I don't talk and she just stares at the camera.
I'll just let her talk.
So she's kind of going to take the reins for this one, but everything she has I've seen and it's pretty much I agree with. Yeah. So let her kick off the list of graphic novels, right?
Yeah.
Or is it comics?
Well, comics, but you know they turn them into graphic novels.
So what do we have at number 5? Well, okay. Number 5 is basically Night of the Living Deadpool, and I actually got a hold of this comic book on Amazon, and it was actually at a very cheap price. I got it for like $5 because you know how you can do the buy new, old, whatever, and the condition that I got was actually really good, and obviously you guys know that I love Deadpool. So basically, if there's a second part to it, but I haven't read them in such a long time, but basically, he wakes up and the whole world is like zombified. He's kind of like, you know, Rick from The Walking Dead when he wakes up and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And, you know, and the problem there is, obviously, you're trying to escape this virus, but also he himself can become infected. Could you imagine if Deadpool became a zombie? You can't kill him. You know, he regenerates. So what he's trying to do, basically, is try not to get eaten. Wow. Or bit, because if honestly, like if Deadpool fucking, it's kind of like the Flash. Imagine if the Flash got bit, we'd be fucked. Yeah. Especially if we didn't have the Justice League, he'd be fucking zombifying everyone. Yeah. And I feel like Deadpool, obviously, he can't die. So, what do you think he's gonna do? He's just gonna go and kill people while he regenerates, and you shoot him. And if you're not made to take Deadpool down, well then you're basically screwed. So basically, you know, he's trying to make his way. He's basically one of the good guys in this. He meets a group of people. I kind of forgot how it ends, but there is a second one. So if you guys want to check it out, you guys should check it out. It's really awesome. Deadpool. Come on. What is more to ask? Deadpool and zombies? Yeah. Basically.
Okay, so number 4 is similar. Same world. It's Marvel Zombies. Volume 1 specifically is the one that I read. And holy moly, you guys. Deadpool was trying not to become a zombie for very good reason. In this one, they all become zombies. So imagine trying to beat the Avengers.
But zombies.
Nobody did. They ate the entire world that they're on, which was Earth 2149. I wrote it down. And it was written by Robert Kirkman, who is obviously the zombie master.
Of course.
And I think it was in 2005. Yes, it was 2005. And he had started The Walking Dead, I believe, in like 2003. So he had already released The Walking Dead, but it was brand new, and he got...
So it was around 2010 then, right? Because that's when the show aired, or did he...
Okay. No, but the comics, you know...
Oh, okay, the comics. Like, okay, way so that's before. Different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, way different.
Yeah. But the show did come out in 2010, and I guess he got to do this. He wrote volumes 1 and 2 of Marvel Zombies. But basically, this is the deal. Like, the virus broke out, and the Avengers were the first responders, of course, and they all got infected. And when it... Dude, it's like the most horrible thing you could read. Like, your favorite heroes...
Eating people and...
All they want to do is eat people.
That's what that was, like, and eating people.
Awful. Like,
it's like, hi, Captain America.
Yeah, like, he's one of the main ones in this one, and it's Captain America. Damn handy dandy notebook. It's Captain America, Wolverine, and Spider-Man, It's so heartbreaking to see them like this. And Giant Man and the Wasp, and Thor is in there also. I think. Well, in this one, it's not Captain America. It's how do you say Colonel? Is that how you pronounce it? He was ranks above regular Captain America, and it's so intense, you guys. In this one, spoiler, sorry, it's been out forever, but Spider-Man ate his wife and his aunt. Like, that's how hardcore it is. Like, and then when it opens, they're trying to kill Magneto because Magneto trapped them in this other Earth because they're obviously like the brilliant, like, you know, they're the Avengers, and the Hulk is there, and Bruce Banner's obviously freaking, he's a genius, so he figures out how to teleport them to other worlds to keep eating people, and Magneto prevented that, but he didn't make it. And here's this other spoiler part that I gotta talk about because it just disturbed me to my core. Giant Man has another Avenger hidden away. Well, I don't know if he's an Avenger, but he hid away Black Panther from everybody else because he didn't get infected, and he's eating him piece by piece, you guys. Like, he has him in a, what was it? He has him in a, like, under anesthesia or something, and he was eating him little by little. He would like sneak away from the other people, and Iron Man is also in this. I remember he's in this, and he's eating him little by little. And then the Wasp, like, they're married, and she finds out, and he chops her head off. Like, he just bites her head off, gets all big and chops her head off.
Fatality.
It's awful. And then it has a kind of good ending, I guess, and it was very hard to read your favorite heroes like just wanting to eat.
I think that's why they do it, because they're like, you're so used to seeing them do so good that
yeah,
I'm just going to fuck them up for you.
Totally different twist on zombies to make the heroes the zombies and not fighting them. It was brutal. And there's like way more volumes. I think there's like 5, but I just read Robert Kirkman's. He did 1 and 2, but I didn't read 2 yet. And it's pretty intense, you guys. You should read it. And then it's like Galactus comes to deal with them, and they're still trying to eat him. Huge Galactus, and there they are. They ate Silver Surfer. And then they got more power, so more powerful zombies.
Basically, it's the end of the world, so
it's awful.
There's just no way that
they're trying to get to other people on other Earths. Like, they're smart, and it's like the most terrifying thing to read. Number
3 is a very, very close place to my heart because I fell in love with the movie, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it. I only put it on my list of top horror movies to watch. Is 30 Days of Night. Obviously series, but the graphic novel that I read, it's the movie, if you've seen it, that has Josh Hartnett in it, and how do you say his name? It's General Lufendorf, but I forgot his name. Yeah, I said it wrong. But I forgot the actor's name. Damn it. But he's in it too. So the entire time I was watching Wonder Woman, I'm like, oh my god, he's the fucking vampire king. But I read the graphic novel because I had a friend, well, she was one of my teachers before, and then we kind of became friends now as I grew up as an adult, and she always finds me a way to hook me up with books. So around that time, she loaned me Watchmen and 30 Days of Night, and when she handed me 30 Days of Night, you know, I felt like, okay, I've seen the movie, but I want to read about it, and oh my gosh, you guys, like, the movie is so different from the graphic novel. I was so sad, because, you know, first of all, Evan dies, right? So the entire time I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, Evan's gonna die, but in the movie, this is probably something small, but in the movie, they're going through a divorce, and in the graphic novel, they're married. They're happy. So I was really upset that they kind of made them have that strained relationship, but in a way, I can see why they did it. So when he does that heroic act, you're like, they could have been together, but then you hate her because you're like, why did you have him killed? But so basically, the graphic novel is based off the movie. You know, these vampires, well, they're from Barrow, Alaska, the people. And then vampires come in, and, you know, since they have no sun for a month, they're like, fuck yeah, it's a feeding frenzy. So basically, they come every year that the sun goes, well, they have no sun. So from the movie, obviously, from the perspective, is Evan sacrifices himself and he infects himself, and he becomes, you know, a fucking badass vampire. He kills the leader, and basically, you know, he ends up, towards the end, Stella, his, ex-wife in the movie, you know, she holds him while he burns. Spoiler if you haven't seen it, come on, you guys. And basically, you know, I thought that that's how the graphic novel ended, and it didn't, basically. Stella is out to seek revenge on these vampires. Don't watch the second movie, you guys. Read the graphic novel. It was so terrible that I went straight to DVD. Mm-hmm. But basically, I don't remember the entire process because I'm telling you, it's been so long since I've read it. But I recall Stella tries to find a way to bring back Eben. That she even forms like a relationship with the vampire. She ends up having sex with this vampire, by the way. They have like a weird, I don't know, but she's not in love with him though. She kind of uses him, I think. And I don't know if there's like a stronger force out there. I don't recall exactly how she gets infected, but she becomes a vampire herself. And towards the ending, they kind of become like the guardians of Barrow, Alaska, which I thought was really cool because she finds a way to bring Evan back. I forgot how she does it though. I don't remember. But basically, in a way, it was a happy ending because, like, in the movie, you're like, why? You know, they just rekindled their relationship and he dies. And, you know, she brings him back. And they're more guarded now, you know, because... But at first, they don't believe her. They think she's crazy. Like, vampires, are you stupid, you know, from all the survivors that they managed to save. But if you guys have time to read the graphic novel, and I don't think it's just a graphic novel because I think it's 2 parts. But there's an ongoing comic book series. I haven't read the comic book series, but now... After bringing it back up, I'm actually very intrigued. And I think the graphic novel's by Stephen Niles. I think that's who it's from. But enough ranting.
Okay. So number 2 is American Vampire. Sorry. I don't know how to speak, I promise. And it is written by Scott Snyder, which all of you probably know. And Stephen King. Another genius, you all know.
So you put the fucking geniuses together?
He is in the comic book world, you guys. At least in this instance. And American Vampire, well, Volume 1 was written by Scott Snyder and Stephen King. They did like 2 stories in one volume. It would go back and forth every issue. And it was just 5 issues, the first one. And the rest is just... Scott Snyder, and he created this whole thing. So can you imagine to have Stephen King help you out?
That'd be fangirling.
So this American Vampires is about it centers around the volume 1 around Pearl Jones and Skinner Sweet. He's an outlaw. The one that Stephen King wrote is about Skinner Sweet, his origin, how he became a vampire, and Stephen King mentions cruises in New Mexico, so it was like we live very close to cruises. I know
we don't live in cruises, by the way.
No, but we live close. And I was like, he knows of our state. And it's very disturbing. And these are not the vampires that tweens like. This
is no Twilight. This is no
very hard
Vampire Diaries.
So his takes place in the 1800s. He's a Wild West outlaw. And for Pearl Jones, she's an aspiring actress in the 1920s. So very cool eras. And it's about... Well, she becomes a vampire. That's not a spoiler. And Skinner Sweet is the original American vampire that is centered around. So he's like a good...
You can do spoilers. I spoiled the shit out of 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, there'll be some spoilers. But a lot of them are in the descriptions of the things, so it's not really a spoiler. So she becomes a vampire in like the most brutal way that you can become a vampire. It was awful. Like there's these very, very old European vampires that are horrible. They can't go in the sun. Like the cliches apply mostly to them. But for Skinner Sweet and Pearl Jones, they're like different type of vampire. They're like a better, stronger vampire.
Like Blade, a little bit. You've never watched Blade?
No.
Cut out.
They like as somebody gets turned into a vampire, like they don't stay the same. Like they become better because of their genes or something that reacts to the vampire virus, I guess. They become better. So the old European vampires get really jealous and try to like either get them on their side, or obviously they try to hurt them if they don't. And with Pearl, they just like threw her out in the desert and left her to die. And Skinner Sweet helped her when he saw that she was in the hospital dying. And when she came back to life, she gave her the guy that killed her. Essentially, he sent her to be killed. He like tricked her into thinking that she was gonna get an opportunity, and she just got killed. and it's about them like working together now and like seeing how they react to being a vampire, like the decisions they make become after having become this monster is really interesting. So you guys should definitely support it. It's already completed and finished. There's way more than one volume, so it's a very good series. So you guys should actually
come on,
so check it out and support
it's Scott Snyder and
Case
Stephen
you
King.
haven't.
Anything else? Any more
You don't
to
need
say?
any more convincing than that.
Right.
And Raphael Albuquerque is the artist on this, so check it out, people.
Of
It's
course.
really good. It's a very, everybody's like, oh no, it's not that unique, but I was very intrigued. And I
But see,
think
that's
it's
another
different.
thing. Don't listen, because how
No.
she said, don't listen to critics or people that say it wasn't that good. I didn't find it intriguing, because like how she
It
said,
is.
she actually really liked it, and
Yeah.
people like how she said were like,
It's not stuck in one setting in one place. I think that's what I like the most, that it's gonna jump around from era to era. It's not just the 1800s and
and that's
20s.
kind of cool, because that's
it's gonna
what
be more.
vampires are about.
Yeah,
because
it's
they're
to show
eternal.
their long life, you know, and how they react in different eras and
And
settings.
our
Like,
like
that's so
how they
cool.
evolve or see our
Yeah.
generation change like
Mhm.
from each year. Like
So it keeps going. So check it out, you guys. It's really good. And number 1, The Crown, is another king.
duh,
not
dude,
Stephen
anything.
King.
Shut up.
It's another king.
Duh,
not
dude,
Stephen
anything.
King.
Shut up.
He's under an alias though. It's Lock and Key. It's very popular, so
It is very
you guys
popular.
might have heard of this one. It's more popular, and it's written by Joe Hill, and the art on this one, I forget who Gabriel Rodriguez.
There's
is
a
the-
fly bothering us.
Yes. Stupid fly.
Are you not a
So-
Stephen King fan?
It's by Joe Hill. He wrote it, and Gabriel Rodriguez, sorry, I forget the artist. He did the art for this one. And you guys have probably heard of this one, but this is pretty. I can't watch horror, but for some reason I
She
thought
can read the shit out of
the
it.
comics were more interesting.
That's weird, huh?
And with this one, like literally, I would read it in the night, and I would scare myself, and I would stop reading it, and I was like, I can't.
I'll tell her, I'm like, let's watch a horror movie. No, thank you.
But, let
But
me
I'll read
it.
the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And this one, it's just because it sounded interesting, because it has a fantasy element to it. It's not just like ghosts and demons and stuff, but it has a paranormal side to it, obviously. But I thought it sounded interesting because it's centered around a family, the Locke family. They end up moving to Love Key, Massachusetts, I believe is where it's at, and they live in this house. Which is the Key House, I believe. Yeah, it has a name. And they suffer a tragedy where they're from, and I won't ruin that part because I did not see it coming, and it was awful. It was brutal. It starts off brutal as soon as you get into it, but once they move away from that having happened to them, they move into this house with I think it's their dad's brother, and the youngest boy, he discovers this key, and he doesn't know what it is, you know, he's little, and he just goes and opens the door, and everybody that opens the door with these special keys that are hidden, they like develop abilities. And of course, you know, they don't believe the little boy, and they're so like struck with grief, I would say, that they like, you know, don't really pay attention to him. But it's genius, you guys. Like all of a sudden you could be fine, and then it's like creeps you out, it like shocks you. They use the pictures so well, obviously, and like they set up the scary parts, like, you know, it's just so well done. And I will spoil a little bit. Like his ability with one of the keys, they develop different abilities, and eventually the brother and sister believe him, and he can kind of once you walk through the door, when you use that key, you leave your body and you become a ghost. Well, the little boy does, and he can go like look around at
So you
people.
can kind of like hover in a way.
Yeah.
Kinda like
his
Insidious
body
a little
stays
bit.
all kind of, but he doesn't have to be asleep. Like he
Yeah.
just, you know, he just goes through it. But your body like goes into a zombified state on the floor. You
So
just,
like if they were
fall.
to find the body, they'd be like,
Yeah, they're just like because he tries to show one of them, and he finally does, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And then they like see that they could do it too, and there's this horrible guy that torments them, and there's this awful spirit that lives in the house that's trapped in a well at first, and it uses the little boy to get it out, and it's crazy, you guys. And there's this one's also completed, and it already had its run, but it's won awards. It's very, very well received. and it's very interesting. In case you guys haven't heard of it, you should. And if you
And
have, you could talk about it with us.
And now you have, actually.
It's
You
really
could leave some in the
recommendations.
Comments. I can't
Yeah.
speak to.
Leave your recommendations if you have any horrors.
I would love
comics
to
that
have
we didn't
recommendations,
mention.
you guys. I love reading, so bring them.
And we might talk about them in a future video. You guys never know. We could do different kind of lists and stuff. So
I just thought it was funny how, like, if you saw our top horror movies, I did all the talking.
yeah.
And in the graphic novels, just like, yeah.
I've heard of a few of those.
I've read those.
I can read them, but I can't watch
Just
them.
like me, like, I love Stephen King movies, but she's like,
Oh,
no, and then
they're
she reads
hard
it,
to
but she's
read.
like, I'll read
They're
it.
hard to watch and read, even the normal novels that don't have pictures. It's like very. We saw one the other day on Netflix, the one they barely released in 1922. I was like, Dad, this was from Stephen King. It's gonna turn scary. It's gonna turn scary, and it did. And my dad was just like laughing, like, the lady came back to haunt him. Sorry, that's a kind of a spoiler, but the book's been out forever.
It's like, if you know the Nerd Girls, sorry guys, are spoilers. I'm
Yeah, sorry.
We try
don't
not
mean
to, but it's because we get excited and we want you to, like,
we want
be
to talk
interested.
about it. Yeah.
And we want you to get interested in it, so we're like, spoiler.
The spoiler parts are the ones I get to and are like, eesh. Like I need to talk about that part.
I want to talk about it with you.
So it was a very short video. It's just mentioning a few that we've read and that we've liked. So we hope you guys enjoyed the video. And please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. We have a giveaway going on from our Instagram in case you guys haven't heard of it. So check it out if you haven't. And
We have the Wonder Woman cardboard, and it's not just the cardboard. A lot
It'll
of other
be more.
stuff come with it. So trust me, you guys don't want to miss out. And for those who have subscribed, dude, you guys rock. Thank you.
thank you guys.
It means the world to us.
You
We
guys are
just
so
started,
nice every time.
and you guys are like, subscribe, and we're like,
Yes.
we die a little inside every time.
On every platform that we've engaged with you guys on, you guys are always so responsive and so positive. So thank you guys for being so
And
nice.
we're such rookies still,
appreciate
so
it.
we make a lot of mistakes.
We
And
want
I love how you
positive,
guys
nice
embrace.
people.
I like how you guys embrace it, or you'll tell
Yeah.
us certain things.
No
But
matter what random video you guys engage back. So thank you guys for that. Thanks
We're
for watching.
the
guys.
Nerd Girls.
Bye.